Hey guys, Dave from Nerdarchy, for nerds, by nerds, and welcome to season 2, episode 0 of Marvel Phase Rip, the superhero RPG. And we have some new cast members joining us, and this is not a continuation of season 1, but it is going to be a brand new game, and we don't even know what it's going to be yet. We're going to actually hash that out here tonight. Professor Bell is going to be our judge tonight. We've got Travis from WebDM in the house. We got staff writer Megan and novelist Megan. We also have staff editor Doug, and he also has his own website you guys can go check out. And we have DBJ. He's got a YouTube channel and is a prolific writer apparently now, and I completely missed it, over on the Ride Through RPG. Everybody has links in the description below, so if you want to check out the stuff they're doing when they're not rolling the percentile dice with us, you're absolutely welcome to it. And not only that, I would encourage it. So, session 0, Bill. You have an idea how we're going to run this? Like, I guess some of the things we should discuss is like, what kind of heroes are we going to play? Like cosmic, street level?
Absolutely. Or something in between. You guys can start off powerless and become powerful. And guys, let's not forget, let me actually move this over so I can read the chat and you can see my sexy face. On my DM. What? Anyway, so you guys in the chat, don't forget, this is interactive, baby. So when you guys want to add something in, add it in. If you guys have an idea of what kind of character you want these guys to play, or what setting, or what power level, now mind you, the players don't have to take your advice, but they can take it under counsel. So by all means, make your voices heard. So in the meantime, what do you guys think about what you guys want to play?
So I would like to start with our powers as opposed to finding them. We did that last season.
Mm-hmm.
For those of us who are already here. So
actually, I gave you powers, but okay.
Well, yeah.
Now, how about okay, I know all of you guys know about the Ultimate Powers book, right? And you can come up with some really kooky, bizarre kind of things. So maybe we could kind of combine that with choices. So like maybe everyone rolls randomly, but then we kind of divide it amongst ourselves, like who gets to be something, so it doesn't come out too bizarre,
That's kind of neat, like a power pool.
So a power pool, like a round robin. So everybody rolls for a random power in a pool, and everybody chooses what they want.
Okay, and I've got some...
Right. So so you can kind of adjust and kind of make a coherent character, but it still's kind of random. I don't know. That's an idea.
Mm-hmm. No, that's a good idea.
I really hope we're going to.
I'll let you guys know what my idea is afterwards.
What'd you say, Travis? You really want to use the
Ultimate Powers? Your mic is really low, so you're going to have to actually fight to get a word in edgewise.
Yeah, well, I really want to use the Ultimate Powers book. I'm a huge fan. I've been boning up on it to get ready for this game. I've got a rough idea of what I want to do, and I've got one key power that I think kind of makes my guy. But then I do think we should have a second, third, or some, fourth might be crazy. I don't know how far you go, but I did a game once where we did up to 4 and it was bananas. And so I could pick a random second or third could be really fun. So that could
be. If you're a mutant, you can get 5 powers. Shoot. That's one of the benefits of being a mutant.
That's true.
That being said, your powers could be like digging and water breathing, so
that's right.
So, there's a lot of ways we could roll for our origin and then go from there. We could pick one power and then roll. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, like Travis, I had a general idea what I'd kind of like to do, but I'm not set in stone. I'm not going to be upset if we do something different.
Does anybody have an idea of one particular power that they would like? Because this would, at the very least, tell us the setting. So, is it going to be street level, mid level, or cosmic level?
I want to do some fire crap. I just want to throw fireballs at people. That is what I want.
Okay.
I want something really obvious and in your face like that.
So you have a lifetime supply of enchiladas and red hots?
I would like some kind of light-based powers, like holograms and dazzling lights was kind of the idea I had.
I heard a word in there that tells me what character concept you're going with. Dazzler, yes?
No, I don't want to absorb sonic energy. I want to
Well, yeah, it's one thing, but okay. So more like a No, not even what's her face? Jubilee. God, I hate her so much I can't remember her name. But
Like here, I'll give you my like if I got to pick everything, it'd be light control, light emission, illusory duplication, and coloration.
Oh, yeah.
sick. And most of that can be done through power stunts.
Yeah. Well, those are all actually powers, but yeah,
Yeah,
coloration
yeah. Oh, well,
is.
they are powers, but they can be done through power stunts.
Oh,
So if you
right.
don't get 4 powers, all you would
Right.
really need is light emission at the very least.
Right.
And then you could develop the control and develop everything else.
Yeah. Right.
Travis, EVGA, what do you guys have on your bucket lists?
Okay, I'm going to put a pin in that for just a second, just simply to say that, mind you, I'm not going to be going crazy with karma in this particular season because it got out of control. You guys didn't know what to do with karma at that point, and it will make you guys go up in power rank a lot. So, hey, if we're going cosmic, you will absolutely have a lot of karma coming to you because you'll be fighting more powerful people, and you're going to need a lot of karma to do anything. But if you're going street level, we're talking about dishing out like, wow, I got, 50 karma this mission. Woo.
Yeah.
So
I kind of like
Just,
somewhere
okay.
street and like, like lower
Like
level.
Avengers level threats, where it's
Yeah.
just like, yeah, they take on big threats, but it's not like
Avengers
Corvac
are
quest every time.
such a huge paragon, though. You've got like the Black Knight and Hawkeye and mid-level characters like Iron Man and Captain America, and then like Thor and the Hulk in the same freaking team. So
Yeah.
What about like Justice League, but like the D-listers? They were Justice League Unlimited. The D-listers were my favorite
Like
episode.
Justice League International, is that what it was? JLI back in the day, like the
It
Keith
was-
Giffen
oh,
era.
you can go with that. You can go with the crappy team that fought against Doomsday and the death of Superman.
A lot of people in the chat are saying cosmic. I see that a lot.
I would,
Dragonborn.
I wish we could do street level with occasional flashes of cosmic.
I like
like the
that.
sound of that.
I would like to do. I've got a great street level thing that I would like to do that I feel good about. And
Ooh,
it
what
gives-
about
it
like
gives
a
you room to do it?
what is it? Was it Starjammers?
That's like Cyclops' dad.
Yeah. Like
The
that's
Corsairs.
yeah, that's kind of like a
Yeah,
cool power level.
Corsair is his father's name. Okay, so here's the thing. I'm sorry. Let me clarify. When I say cosmic, I mean characters like Thor, characters like Beta Ray Thor.
No, I don't want to be like
Like
that.
the
powerful.
really super duper power. A setting is one thing. Like going into space is another thing. But when I say like power levels, there's street level powers. Like let's say the Spider-Man or even lower than Spider-Man would be
Moon Knight and stuff.
Yeah.
like the current Defenders on the like Moon Knight,
Yeah.
the current Defenders on Netflix. Like
I
those.
always like
There's
that. I always like that much better. It feels much more personal.
Yeah, as a comic reader, I like that kind of stuff.
One death is a tragedy, a million is a statistic.
Okay,
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think that works.
I don't want to speak for everybody, obviously, but yeah, I don't want to be like that powerful, like Thor level or anything. That's
I think like Captain America, Spider-Man.
yeah. But what do Travis and DBJ think? What do you guys?
You go first.
I like that power level. Teen Titans is my max.
Teen Titans
although
Go
I've always had a soft spot for the public super team, like Titans Tower or something, or Fantastic Four, where there's like an iconic super location. But if it's more Defenders level, you wouldn't really want anything like that. It'd be the abandoned warehouse kind of deal.
I like that idea of being like more public too, because last time we didn't really get into that either, so that'd be fun to explore.
Also, if we do that, that gives us the ability to move players in and out if we need to. Like, like the call goes out, who's available, right?
I dig that.
So if say for an evening, like someone's not available for that night, but if we wanted to, we could bring in a guest, or it's not a big deal. You don't have to explain it, like
Yeah, it's not like why isn't he in Niflheim this week with us? He was last week.
Okay, well, what you're talking about now with the huge headquarters, that comes down to resources. So you got to go for the Black Panther or Iron Man or Batman type character who their main thing is, I'm rich.
Or have a sponsor. I mean, Department H, right?
Okay.
You could absolutely do that if everybody wants to pull that together. Here's the way that I was thinking about doing for the powers. Depending on, if you're going to talk about like street level or something like that, I could, let's say, give you guys, we could say unearthly to play with. You roll up your stats randomly, place them where you want. So like, let's say you just roll, for stats, I've got an excellent, I've got a good, I've got a remarkable. I would really like to have better fighting than agility, so I'll put the remarkable up here. You know what I'm saying? But then for powers, I'll just say here's unearthly 100. And now you could say, okay, well, I would really like to have flight. So I'll take, let's say, 3 levels of flight. So that brings that unearthly down to incredible, because you're using 3 levels of that. And so like, let's just say 10 column shifts. And then you've got feeble, poor, typical level flight. Okay, what other power do you want? And then just like that. And then we could just agree or disagree on which, like how many column shifts am I giving you guys? 10? You want 30? What do you want? That's what I was thinking. This way you can literally pick whatever powers you want. But we can also go with Dave's original suggestion of the very first power that you choose. Everybody rolls and puts it in the pool. So
I kind of dig that idea. It's like the gamer in me wants to pick them all, but I like that idea of that little bit of randomness with still a bit of control amongst the players. I think that's pretty cool.
That'd be fun.
I concur.
When I gained use a face for it, we used to use an array and just start at poor, poor, typical, good, and we used to use a 7-step array for our stats, and that kept us from having to constantly roll things, or one guy would have 3 unearthlies or something, because that made some things real quick as far as stats go.
Mr. 420 Spy over here, interesting name, he suggests just giving you guys points. So let's say like 100 points, and then you do whatever you want with that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. So if you just wanted like 1 power and you're awesome with it, you could just put it all in.
Because that's kind of what I'm cooking
Fire.
up. Is like a Cyclops type guy. Is I want to be like the big blaster of the room, and so I'd probably double down on like I'm gonna do sonic force blast coming out of my mouth, I think, and
Banshee.
Except
Canary.
Except it wouldn't be a scream. It'd be like a diet black bolt. Like just wreck everything with the power of my voice, kind of a thing.
Okay.
And I guess I could hurt.
Marvel is big on limitations. I think that Marvel may have been the very first. It was definitely the first one system I ever noticed that actually puts limitations on you. I had to really understand that when I was a kid, like before high school. Okay, I rolled 30 for this, but if you make it so that you have to have 2 hands unbound, then you can raise it a column shift to incredible. Or it only works on mutants, so now you can raise it up to amazing. Things like that. Can actually.
That's true. We didn't really get into that last season. That'd be cool too.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Because the sonic weakness was always one of my favorite things. It was always just like, oh right, he's weak to sonics. Haha, gotcha. You didn't think about the sonics, did you? Got the sonic gun there. Feel like a jerk. And we were saying something earlier about like why it'd be fun to be street level and what our popularity and what our resources would be. So kind of my idea for my guy was that he would be like the lead anchor on the 6 o'clock news, who would be Tab Cannon, 6 o'clock news. And maybe I'm out covering a story on the way home and the chemical factory explodes. I got caught in the big chemical explosion. And then I got mad at the newsroom and I screamed, "Do it live," and blew up everything in the newsroom.
He's mad as hell and he's not going to take it anymore.
That's right. That's right. Exactly. and then I blew up all the gear and blew up the newsroom. And
by day he uses his voice to proclaim the news. By night he exacts justice with it.
Exactly. And then I thought, because then I could have resources. Like the guy probably have some money, and I could be the guy.
Journalism is a lucrative career.
Plus,
if you're on TV, it is.
I know. I'm just teasing.
Plus, if you check the talent section in the player's handbook, if you take the talent journalism, you also get 2 free contacts, which are expected to be like sources and things like that.
I had that in the last game.
And so I thought like I'd beat up the bad guy and then, whip out my phone and Instagram it, be like, Tab Cannon here. It's not easy beating up bad guys.
So he'd be like public in that way too?
Yeah,
You
Like,
sound
he's
like a dick
famous.
so much.
And so what I'm trying to figure out is, does he have an alter ego and my superhero name is Broadcast? Oh man. Or is he just like famous, like running around like, hey, how's it going, Tab Cannon? It's just like, and everybody knows it. So I thought maybe it'd be fun to do both. That he does have like a public alter ego, and like
Do it for the Vine.
Yeah.
fine.
Okay,
They're in the same
I want to read this comic right now.
Yeah, I think it's fun. And then like I can gather up people, like if if we hear that something's going to go down, and I like the idea of there being a team that gets, like what David was saying, is that you could pull people in and out and add people and that it'd be like a Defenders. I really want to do a New York game. I went to New York last month. It'd be fun to do a New York game and do something pretty deeply street level, with, like you're saying, with contacts and with where money is pretty important and who is pretty important, and we're tracking them down and kicking ass, and it'd be fun.
What if the team was funded by the newspaper?
Yeah. Or like a broadcast conglomerate kind of a thing, That'd be who
I'll be your lighting guy.
They send us
we could-
snippets we have to say during the battles.
What?
We could stretch it out a little further and say maybe there was some kind of there was something that drew the authorities to like a unique event or something, the news, and then all the people that are involved were either like spectators or part of the news crew or police or fire or something like that. And maybe broadcast has everyone's faces, like went back and looked at the video and then like tracks everybody down and like gets the team together or something.
Oh.
Like Bang Babies from Static Shock.
Wow.
Sure.
You're really going back.
I used to watch it with my son. It was a great show.
Wow. I used to
love that
watch it just
show.
by myself.
But I like the idea of a big event that makes everybody. That would be really fun.
Okay, so a white event to reference the Marvel New Universe by Jim Shooter.
Oh, geez.
Did I lose everybody there?
Is
Okay,
that the
sorry
new?
about
No,
that.
is that the new one where the second where
This was
Reed
in
died?
1985-86, where there was
Oh,
a
no,
completely
that one.
different universe. Jim Shooter said, here is this world, and we could do this also if you want. Here's this new world where everybody's human, but there's some people with superpowers, as opposed to the regular Marvel universe, which is, it seems like everybody's got some superpowers, and once in a while you see a civilian.
Right. Yeah.
Well, you know what? That was one of the things I want to put out there too. Or do we want to actually play in the Marvel universe, or do we just want to do our own thing? Do we want to be Todd McFarlane and make our own image?
Oh. We do not have to. One of the things I was thinking is to not limit this game by actually following along with the current events of the comics. I felt that Secret Empire really limited us last time. So,
But do you want to
That's
play
good.
in the Marvel universe?
What's going on?
yeah, we can play in a Marvel universe. We can play in a conglomerate universe, like an amalgam universe, where there's both sides together. We can have everybody together. We can have it so you guys are the only heroes. Literally, we're playing Marvel superheroes role-playing game rules. It doesn't have to be the setting. It's whatever
Right.
you want.
What if we could be? This could be Event Zero, and then things just kind of trickle out, and other heroes start showing up, and other villains start showing up.
At the same time, then I am losing a lot of bad guys I can send against you.
Yeah, I was
I
gonna say
would
that
have
makes
to-
it harder on you too, because you'd have to come up with a lot of
Well,
the
okay with
characters.
that. The question is, what do the viewers think about that? I'm
What?
afraid to look.
No way. You just got Red Vulture, Black Rhino.
Let's see what the chat's saying. The multiverse,
I see Jack Frost likes anime.
everything goes.
You could also do just like if we're all pretty savvy with the mid 80s Marvel universe, like I could have a game that took place at a certain point in time in the Marvel universe, which would just be if we all wanted to live in Frank Miller's Daredevil and stay there because we all got it and we all knew the rules and we all, you know what I mean? There's we could do something like that that wouldn't necessarily, that would chop out a lot of continuity that I know I'm not interested in, and I knew that when I was thinking about my guy, I didn't want to make a guy with any relationship to a Marvel superhero. I wanted to it's not like Tony Stark's friend or something like that.
Right.
And so I
Well,
could
'cause
take
was
it or
thinking
leave
a
it.
rivalry between you and Ben
So
Ulrich.
Yeah, that'd be fun too, though. That's what I'm saying. It's like I don't want to work for the Bugle, and then it's like smartphones and stuff. Like you could have a conversation about tech, and whether because I'm ready to make a really smartphone savvy, new media character, but that doesn't have to be that way. We could do something else. Yeah, that could be fun.
So
I like the idea of maybe because we are going to be relatively street level, maybe we're just the people dealing with the after effects of something bigger, right? So okay, so the Avengers come in, they fight, I don't know, Ultron and Doctor Doom teamed up or something, and they, I don't know, summon the moon, I don't know, it hit Kansas or it doesn't matter, right? So they leave, big event happens, all the big names leave, and then we're stuck with all the results of the bigger conflict, right? So maybe, I don't know, a bigger menace, left some kind of nanotech or something. So now it's infecting people in the streets or something in small ways, right? So we end up fighting, I don't know, simple thugs that are buying and trading Mandroid armor on the streets or something, and someone else found a busted Doctor Doom outfit. He's got the glove and the cape, and that's it or something. We're in the Marvel universe, but we're sea level, so we never get to the actual comic being sold, but we're still fighting. We just don't have a fan page at the back end answering questions, right?
Great Lakes Avengers.
Oh man.
There's franchise.
Well,
they could be off at the Secret War. They could be the heavies, or it's like the Infinity Gauntlet when half of them are dead. They could be where are all the heroes?
Or
the Marvel universe is huge. You never have to actually meet the heroes unless it actually plays into the game. I mean, how long does Spider-Man go with 4 different titles? Never has a crossover,
Yeah.
Could be
So,
post onslaught.
Don't do that. People are going to quit
No,
this
while they
channel.
were gone, and the Thunderbolts came around and stuff.
When the Thunderbolts came, that was actually really cool. So, paper funding the team. Something else that could possibly work is, let's say, a group like Project Pegasus, where they're huge on different new tech and things like that, and maybe they're tired of letting the regular heroes run wild because they got carte blanche to do anything they want. So they actually want a team that's answerable to them, kind of like what Dave was saying with Department H.
What if it's a news organization whose focus is kind of cutting edge, like Travis was saying, and DBJ, in the fallout of things, they're hey, somebody should be reporting on these heroes, they're great and everything, but they leave all this destruction, and we need something beyond normal news team to go to these areas and find out about stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Funny. The heavy hitters, or
Yeah.
or if Travis wanted to be the news guy, right? You could literally embed him with the superhero team.
That's what I was thinking. It's that he'd be the press component of the team, and be
Maybe not the not so unbiased news.
right. And then also he's getting
It's the TMZ of the Marvel universe.
Yeah. And be and by the way, when we're fighting bad guys, we all right after we're done, we go to Joe's Sandwich Shop. Joe's Sandwich Shop on West 5th Street. Don't forget they're open all weekend long. Plenty of free parking.
Oh my God! A corporate sponsored.
That's
super
what I'm saying.
We have to plug things.
Yeah, I've got Joe does my laundry, so I plug him when I beat up a bad guy, and
you can get your own spandex uniform at the Tinker's Workshop.
That's right, Tinker's Workshop for all your superhero costume needs.
We lose karma if we don't get our plugs in.
Ooh. Your resources go down by 1 column shift for next month.
That could be a parallel adventure. It's we have to stop bad guys. We also have to make this business deal, because if we don't get sponsorship, we're out on the street. Because we live in the headquarters too. I'm homeless, man. If I don't have this team, I'm a bum.
Right.
I'm really hoping that you guys go with this route. This sounds fun.
But it's like not everybody
Okay,
on the team. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I don't want to go too far with the idea, but maybe 'cause you mentioned TMZ. Like, maybe we're all like related in some way, but in the worst way. Like a complete nuclear family or something. With like people married in and cousins and nephews and uncles and daughters, and like somehow we're all like connected. So we really can't ignore each other. But then we all get forced in a situation where we all have abilities. So it's kind of like part of the media, you know, maybe a little, some of it's kind of fun. And then we also have to deal, since maybe all of us were involved in this large public disaster or something like that, everyone expects us to do something about it. So like, we're all pulled into it from different directions, you know. I don't know. I'm just coming out.
The event
Yeah,
definitely
Mr.
ties
420 Spy
Well,
in
not
the
a
chat,
match,
dude, you get 5 karma points. This guy, he says your costumes have to have logos all over like NASCAR.
Isn't there? What's what was that movie with like
You're
Mr.
thinking about
Fury and stuff?
Mystery Man. You're thinking of Mystery
Yeah.
Man, and that's kind of what I was thinking
With the
too. It's
shovel.
and but also like Troy McClure, you know, just kind of that ubiquitous. Hey, everybody, you know, it's and that would be a lot of fun for me to do week to week. Like that's something that I would enjoy. But also like the whole team doesn't have to go that way. And in fact, if anybody in the room right now doesn't think that's a cool idea, that could be what's kind of fun about it, is that me and maybe one or two other characters in the room is like, you know, down to sell out and down to talk to the masses and be really public, like aggressively public. And then maybe there's other people in the room who are like, no, I'm the shadow master and I don't appear on your Instagram. And I don't
Turn that
want to
camera
do
away.
that. Yeah.
Don't look at me.
And that reminds me of, like, I don't remember if the stuff like the New Warriors was really like that, where there was public there was a public component to it
Yeah.
that not everybody, and Generation X was kind of that way, if I remember. Oh my God, no, the one with the really hot redhead that everybody bought pinup magazine, Gen 13. I remember Gen 13 was maybe I'm misremembering their deal, but they all had kind of a public component to them that not everybody in the group was on board with, and it created a tension in the middle of it. And that's why I like all of us getting wrapped up by like one inciting event, because like Dave was saying, like then we can't ignore each other. Like whether or not we're all blood relatives, like we should at least be united by a single event that is like, well, now we got to figure this thing out, and I'm gonna cover it on the news because that's what I do. And
People
you may or
need
may
to
not
know.
be cool with that, and people need to know, and it'll create some internal strife, and that could be a lot of fun. That could be some good combat in the Mighty Marvel manner. You know, some pathos. I got to think of something to be guilty about. All good Marvel heroes feel really bad about something. I got to feel bad about something. I haven't figured out what yet.
Those social flaws.
Yeah.
Get in there, Megan. Go ahead.
I want dibs on the sulking teenage family member.
I love it.
You
I don't know
guys could
if
do
you guys
family
read
members.
Wild Cards, but like in the latter books, they actually do a reality show to build a superhero team.
Yeah. Yeah. And Civil War does that too, where they're filming a reality show and then they blow up the school.
It's Cannonball or whatever.
It's very specifically,
And it's
that's
great.
on the New Warriors.
It'll always work, you know. And I love that the sulking. You know, we have an Ali Sheedy from the Breakfast Club type
Breakfast
character.
Club is a good reference.
I love it.
What if it was an umbrella corporation who actually owned you guys, and this was like a secret subset or whatever, that they themselves didn't want to necessarily be in the public spotlight. They want a little anonymity, but they own station. They own, maybe somebody else wants to be like a nuclear physicist or something like that. So they'll own the, you know, I pay your grant money, you know, and just something like that. It could be
those corporate scumbags, they own us lock, stock, and barrel. What are we going to do? We didn't know who we were working for when we signed up for this.
This guy's already in character.
I love it. Yeah, because like big corporate companies will come in and buy little TV stations, and they'll just buy up little things, and that the street level Marvel is great for that. It's Roxxon or it's whatever it is, and that would be a lot of fun to uncover the horrifying truth of the corporate bastards that they own everything.
I feel like we got that
Elio
part.
Tedo, you could.
I'm on board. Fuck the man.
But anyway, yeah, Travis. Somebody in the chat just said your flaw can happen when you the event went down and you lost your cameraman.
What would happen if the event went down and I lost my cameraman?
Let's say the event happened. Your flaw, the big flaw in your character. Is gonna, you know what I'm saying? So that was
I lost
Plus
Jimmy the camera guy. His blood's on my hands.
I knew it.
I watched him die right in front of me.
This one's he dropped his HD cam right there, and
but he still finished filming the segment.
That's right. He was still rolling. By God.
No way,
dude,
he got stuck in the camera. He's gonna be a villain later on.
He got sucked into the camera.
Yeah, we never found the body, but I know he's gone, and it's their fault. Those bastards! I gotta find out. Oh, I love that. Yeah, I lost my camera guy. Well, that's great because then I just moved on to my phone because I don't trust anybody else. No one's as good as Jimmy. He's the best. My God. That I paid for his funeral and I paid for his. I love it. It sounds like fun. I'm down. When do we start?
His camera haunts you by floating behind you.
It's the ghost of Jimmy, my dead cameraman. Don't mind
Dave,
him.
what kind of character did you have in mind? You haven't really chimed in yet.
I'm just kind of getting the feel like I kind of like self-replicators.
Oh, Jimi Madrox, the multiple man.
All right.
Of a character named Mosh Pit.
You don't want to go with the other?
No, that's the Nerdarchy After Dark.
That's metal.
Oh, whoa, I didn't hear about the other one. Did it involve the Nerdarchy thong? That's all I want to know.
It did not.
Well, it could have.
Maybe.
Yeah. The other guy actually used to work in the adult industry, and he was a duplicator. So.
Oh no!
Take that as
the
well.
gangbanger.
The what?
I need an adult.
Yeah, what did you get yourself into, Megan?
Your name is one of two things.
No,
It's either the gangbanger or the cable guy. He always
So we're going to
appear at the most
version, which we go with a rocker that creates his own mosh pit.
Okay, I like that.
This multiple man, the guy, did he have to like punch himself or be damaged in some way in order to
kinetic
energy?
energy.
To like hit himself?
Yeah.
But there's been a ton of different replicators. I was disappointed Mankind never got more action because I thought he was kind of interesting.
On WWE, Mankind.
No, Beta Flight. Mankind. He was able to summon future and past versions of himself.
You just drop a Beta Flight reference? I forgot who was on.
Yeah, he's a huge
Beta
Canadian superhero fan.
That's right.
Oh my God.
Yeah, if
Don't
somebody
forget-
died, like it really messed him up. It jacked him up big time because it's actually a part of him who died. It's a future
you're
or
right.
past version of him.
What's that Legion of Superheroes?
Oh no, that was
Triad?
Flashback. You're thinking Gamma Flight. Flashback was the villain. Mankind.
Okay.
There wasn't duplicates though. He summoned like an amoeba, a Neanderthal, and then like a future guy that had some like tech and stuff.
Wait, you mean to tell me Puck is not in Alpha Flight? Puck is in Beta Flight?
No, Puck's in
No.
Alpha Flight.
Puck is Alpha Flight. In fact, he's currently in a group called Alpha Flight with Sasquatch up in the space station with Captain Marvel in the Mighty Captain Marvel comics.
I've always been a Puck fan, even though I wasn't a big Alpha Flight reader. And if you're not
You
big on
need
Alpha
Dave
Flight,
both.
well, if you're not big on Alpha Flight and you're reading old TSR Marvel books, you're like, what is it? Why does everyone love Alpha
There's
Flight?
like 3 guys in Canada and me that love that team.
Well, and everyone who made these books, because Puck and Sasquatch and the Alpha
Vindicator and
Flight, those guys are right out in front.
Yep. They were huge in the 80s.
Big.
Yeah. I always hated the fact that they gave John Byrne gave Puck that effed up background. I was like,
With
why couldn't
Razor.
he just be? Why couldn't he just have dwarfism and just be a kick-ass hero, man?
Yeah.
What was
Yeah,
that
the
about?
Bears.
Man?
being
Yeah,
a
what
guy
was it
with
like that razor guy cut him in half or something?
to be strong like Spider-Man and flip, that's a kind of cool power, and he's almost immortal. That's awesome. I don't have a problem with that.
So I see where you're coming from, but he still had like a really cool backstory at the same time.
It was like a demon or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like an Ifrit.
Black Razor.
Okay, so to bring it back around, how about this event happened like at the opening of, or no, it's like a science center / museum that's been, maybe it's been around for a while, right? And they keep having new exhibits where they're bringing in more and more technology, but the public has always had worries about who has access to it, or maybe the museum curators, like, everything brought here should be given, should be seen by the public, and the information should be free. And maybe there are various groups that don't like that, or wanted to benefit from it, or felt like their technology was stolen, or someone, maybe a curator was kicked out for, stealing something. And then maybe the last, during a news broadcast, something very dangerous was brought in. Of course, big promises is going to be completely safe. And then, so maybe all of us are connected somewhat with technological backgrounds, and it doesn't necessarily mean we're all gadgeteers. Maybe someone's like has mutated, maybe another character was already a hero and was like sneaking in at the time, and so maybe someone was previously a hero who's involved in a situation, and you could have like protesters outside, or like eco-terrorism or something like that. And then like all of us are kind of, because I think I'm hearing like a tech base for the characters, so maybe this story kind of revolves around that. Maybe an energy release or chemical spill, or
I was thinking chemical spill, but I liked your museum idea, because museums notoriously easy to rob in the Marvel universe. Just remember that. lots of fun happens when you're trying to take stuff from a museum. Basically, the only people watching it is Spider-Man. Let's just remember that, and inept security guard. And so
Guys,
I like
Comic Book University, Black Fox explained in a minute. Sorry, go ahead, Travis.
I like that idea very much. The other idea is that I like this notion that it was a big story, and there was protesting. People were upset, right? Tensions were flaring at the big thing, and everybody was a lot of confusion, a lot of shouting, a lot of screaming, and then all hell broke loose. And did everybody in that area get powers? No. Like 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 or 15 of them did, right? Some of them are going to end up being maybe some of the villains of the piece. There's the people in the room right now, and then Dave was saying maybe somebody gets added, whatever. Gives you room to play. This reminds me of Rising Stars, by the way. I don't know if you guys remember Rising Stars. I like that idea, because then like everybody else can either have just been sent to the hospital, or died, or is still in a coma, or whatever, and you get to play a little game about like who all was there and what happened to them, and that could be fun.
You know what the really freaking stupid thing about this is? I was just a bystander in the alleyway outside and lighting up a cigarette, and all of a sudden this shit happens.
Yeah.
If it's a big like publicity event, Mosh Pit's band could have been playing there. Maybe my guy.
They're very politically active.
Right. Yeah.
Like Rage.
Maybe my light dude runs a company that has like cutting edge like holographic security and stuff. So, it was like supposed to like contain this artifact or whatever, and it failed, so that's what he could feel guilty about. And then he's like, I'm going to use my light technology to help fight crime.
Yeah, like Mysterio.
I don't know.
We can literally make it as stupid as you want. First off, your ability to control and start mosh pits or whatever. If you're actually in the band, you're the lead singer or whatever. Boom, that's what you were doing at the time anyway. That was your mindset. What do you call it? If you were like, let's say, the lighting guy Doug, or if you were just in the back, or if the freaking
wealthy
spotlight
industrialist.
lit up. When this event went down, you happened to be in like the brightest light possible, and therefore, boom, or you tripped and fell on the cord, whatever. What you call it?
I like the
Maybe,
idea of it being tech based though, so maybe he uses his maybe his company is the shell company that funds the news organization because he's like, hey, this guy's doing something and it was my fault this happened, so I'm gonna fund his thing and then I'll join them as this tech based light guy.
Maybe one of you guys had nanobites. Like you're bringing out a nanobite virus or something like that, and it fell out right when you guys happened to be around it.
I think the museum act opens up a lot of different doors, because like for the judge down the road, who knows? Like this could be mummies or T-Rexes running around. Someone could maybe someone could have got their powers from an ancient artifact that just in this
it's like a little tiny cowboy
was activated,
and he chases after you guys.
Yeah.
Like he was Owen Wilson. Yeah,
and it doesn't have to be.
Go on.
Sorry, it doesn't have to be villain of the week, kind of, but like maybe just an innocent person either, had powers and they're like going wild, or someone, stole something out of the museum and they're getting a benefit from it, but their benefit is wreaking havoc elsewhere or something. It's like the little kid who finds a tiny statue of a T-Rex, but it actually creates a giant T-Rex. And the kid thinks he's playing with his Legos, but he's like destroying buildings. And you got to find the kid.
That's cool.
Typical kid with a deck of many things.
Yeah. It's like you don't want to blast the kid, but you got to blast the Godzilla that's destroying downtown.
I love that.
It's a good charade here.
The other thing too is if you are of any renown in street level Marvel universe, you've got a target on your back. And some of my favorite, stories are when, Spider-Man is eating a donut or walking or swinging on the street, and then he just gets hit. Like they knew he was coming. They were ready to go. They were up all night waiting for him to show up. He did, and they hit him and they kicked his ass. And it would be fun to have, basically you can make your bones going at, the Heroes for Hire. You can make your bones going at our team, and try to have a flashy, attack and use your new power armor like a dick, and try to mess up our night, and I would love to, I'm a big fan of like the Beetle, guy who just has a suit and a bad attitude and, like a really hard Scrabble backstory,
And doesn't realize, like, hey, if I actually just licensed this amazing high-tech technology, I could make a legitimate living, but I'm just going to go beat up Spider-Man instead.
Yeah, except Spider-Man's got to die.
Yeah.
This is microwave tech.
Cure cancer.
There's a lot of good things happening in the chat. So far we've got Tyson.
I want to make dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Why do that? I could turn this dinosaur real.
Sauron.
Yeah.
Please.
Sauron's the best.
Please.
Beetleborgs. Nice.
Oh no.
VR troop.
Let's
just go crazy.
Chat.
So this part feels kind of fleshed out. Where do we want to move into next?
About what powers you guys have? We've established street level.
Yeah, we need to do that. All right. Let's see. I had this here.
Good.
I guess that's up to Bill. How would you like us to generate our primary abilities?
I was personally thinking of just giving you guys the 100 points, like was suggested in the chat, and you guys do what you want with them. Or we could go higher if you want, or just, let's just say 100, and you guys can use limitations to boost your powers more if you want.
So what about for the phase rip?
Yeah.
I was thinking the face rip could actually be used for that also. So we can start off with standards for a typical human, which would be poor fighting, typical agility and strength. It would usually be typical endurance also, but we can go as high as good. Why not? And then typical for the rest of the stats.
And then 100 points to play with.
Yeah, exactly. You could put them in the in your regular stats, or you could put them in the into making powers. One of the things I was thinking of here is, like, let's say if you wanted to do in the physical stats, those are usually a third cheaper than the than your powers. So we can make it half and say that adding 1 point to your physical stats gives you 2 points to your face rip stats. So let's say I'm going to take 5 points out of my power pool and put them into my fighting. Well, you've got an extra 10 points for your fighting rather than 5. And if you're going to do any of the powers that have the little asterisks next to it, which means that it's a double power, then it'll cost you twice as much from the power pool. So 2 points would give you 1 point. Are we good with 100, or you want to go with more?
I think we should start at 100.
Okay.
Where can I find those starting face rips?
I believe
Judge's
that's
book.
like page 13 of the player's handbook.
Page 13.
Page 12 or 13. And mind you, I haven't looked at the books in years, so I'm just trying to remember. I know it's really early in the pages.
You're frosty. You've got this memorized. I'm over here like flipping pages.
You're talking where it's like good, typical, excellent, good, typical, excellent?
You could do that. I believe
then-
that's actually a soldier. But by all means.
Well, they're in the
I'm
book.
Oh,
having
you're talking
trouble
about-
finding the page for this.
Yeah, on 13 they're giving the osprey as an example.
Oh wait, are you asking me like? Oh, I was trying to read off all the way in the back of the judge's book. It is what I'm talking about. All the way in the back of the judge's book, the last.
To the judges.
Yeah, you'll find stats for like alligators and soldiers and cable men.
Oh, you're saying just look at like typical human or whatever.
Exactly, the typical human or businessman, whatever. You know, if you want to use a cop
Okay.
stats, if you want to use soldier stats.
Oh, okay.
And that's
I gotcha.
and to that, like, and that's why I asked this, because I like that idea that I'm just a dude, and then if I can come up with a circumstance to have better than average fighting, like I was hitting on this chick and she took a judo class, so I took a judo class. You know, maybe I've got.
That's usually why like men learn different languages or study basket weaving 101, right? There's this hot chick.
Yeah.
Man, I just want to be a punk ass kid with a baseball bat and fire manipulation.
God,
That'd
I
be
love
the
that.
young tough.
Young tough.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's the young tough.
I think I'm gonna go with
I think I'm gonna go. Sorry, I think
What
I'm
are you
gonna go
gonna
for
do, David?
somebody retired, like older, like just a late 50s, maybe early 60s, like a person that just got his abilities or something very late in life, and he's like being able to live his second live his childhood again, but he still has like all these other responsibilities and stuff.
Yeah.
Tony
I'm
Thompson
going
says
to
somebody playing
Constant
alligator.
shit.
Like I'm damn too old for this.
You guys will have certain stats already, or excuse me, certain talents already given to you. Like I think Young Tough should have crime on there, the crime talent.
No, it doesn't have any abilities. Young tough.
Yeah, young
You're
tough.
young, man. You're young, man. You don't
Well,
know
then they should have
jack.
criminal on there.
The scientist
Criminal will
gets
give you
one
like the
scientific.
typical underworld, like your, you'll know all the local hot spots and the hangouts and where the local bands will be playing, even if it's not advertised and stuff like that. You'll know where to
Travel in
get drugs, who has the best
carry
prices,
knives and blunt objects.
where to get MGH, mutant growth hormone, things like that.
Yeah. Sir.
All right, I'm going scientist.
Well,
And then I'll
I'm
say
gonna
you
have.
guys can have.
Sorry.
I was going to say you guys should have like 3 extra talents, or you can use one of those talents as a contact if you want. But 3 extra talents that you can use to be diverse.
3 extra talents.
Okay. What about limitations of any sort? Should it just be like each person has just one limitation, or do you want to do a limitation gives you X
A limitation should definitely give you
points or
something.
benefits?
Limitation should absolutely give you something. So once you've determined your powers and everything, if you want a limitation, boom, it's all yours, and then we'll boost you up somehow. Like Daredevil taking blind gave him a radar sense that's way better than Spider-Man's spider sense.
Okay.
Can I
I'm
take
going to have
the-
adult children that are trying to put me in a retirement home.
Wow.
Those
Okay.
bastards. We've got to stop them.
What? I can't hear you. What? What?
I said we've got to stop them. Can I start with the lawyer stats, because then I get a good intelligence?
Absolutely.
I don't want a typical intelligence. I'm the anchor of the damn 6 o'clock news, for Pete's sake. Come on now.
That's right. Ron. I never actually saw that.
There's a scoop of
Referral
Ron
to
Burgundy.
Ron
I won't lie to you. There's a
Burgundy.
scoop of Ron Burgundy going on.
Were you even listening, broadcast? Nope.
I'm kind of a big deal. I remember that.
People know me.
Diversity was an old wooden battleship.
But I'm thinking Troy McClure and also from Murphy Brown, the I can't remember his
Oh yeah, Jim,
from Murphy
Candace
Brown.
Birdman.
the guy talking about.
And also from
like
the Mary
the-
Tyler Moore Show, Baxter from the Mary Tyler Moore Show, whose name will come. All the big out in front Phil Hartman, square jawed guys, man's man
All right.
type thing. That's what I'd like to do.
You don't
Total
you don't want one of
aliens.
those weatherman names like I don't know, Dusty Winds or Dallas Rains or
Storm
something.
Johnson.
Story Jackson, exactly.
Well, I like Tab Cannon. It's Tab Cannon. My mouth is basically a shotgun that could split me in half.
And Tad is just such a soap opera name. It's perfect.
Tab with a B. Tab.
Oh, Tab.
I'm thinking Tab, like Tab Hunter.
So
I like
the
Tad
key
too,
close to my,
because
the
Tad
key
is
above my caps lock, below my tilde.
yes.
The classic '80s soft drink.
So if you wanted to do a
yes,
step
good.
up from a young tough, there's a thug and a henchman.
Yeah, she was saying young.
Yeah.
So you were saying the
Yeah.
physical stats are a 2-for-1 and the mentals are 1-for-1?
Yes.
Okay.
No. The face rip are all 1-for-1.
Oh.
But the powers, you choose your own powers, and those will be 2-for-1.
Where's that chart that says like, who
Those will be 1-for-1. Excuse me.
who has like examples of the power levels?
That's
the
actually when
judge's
you. No. Yeah, I think that.
Oh, I
actually
found
goes
it.
to
Yeah,
judge's
it's
book.
page 5.
There
Where
you
it's
go.
just
Only
like
early on.
elderly humans, have this whatever. Let's see, fighting, poor. That sounds good.
I'm getting myself into trouble. So I'm gonna ask a stupid question. I can
Frog.
take a column shift away from one of my base face rip stats and add it to another one. Yes, that's accurate at 1-to-1.
Say it again. I'm sorry.
Yes.
I was looking at the chat.
So
Okay,
if
yes.
I have a typical strength, I could take it down to poor and move that rank into something else.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
So if a stat is typical, are we assuming it's the stats are the, like good is 10 or good is 8?
No, we'll do 10.
All right, and
Yeah,
those
we'll do
numbers
the-
are on the back of the player's handbook as far as like that
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
base number for the ranks.
The chart.
So I get 100 points to spend on face rip, right? To blow this
Yeah.
out. Okay.
Well, face rip and or your
Oh,
powers.
and the power. Okay, I
And
thought it was
or
100 for each. I was like, woo, this is gonna be.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know. All right.
Yeah.
I ran a game. The time I ran this, I let a bunch of mutants go crazy with the Ultimate Powers book. Like people had 5, 6, 7 powers, and we had a bunch of people in the room who were not messing around and like dimension bending, and it got out of hand quickly because you can go completely crazy in that book. It's part of its charm. You can create. They found a way to categorize the entire breadth of the Marvel Universe power scope in one book. That's why I just like adore this book. Just fundamentally think it's a marvelous piece of literature. Because if that's not probably not the right term. Reference material is probably the term I'm looking for. But it's wonderful.
Get that.
100 points. Oh God.
So the stats are 1-to-1, powers are 2-to-1.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Oh no.
So I'm kind of looking at a reservist or a firefighter as like the day job.
Okay.
What about like resources? Is that a 1-to-1, or do we start at basic?
Resources? Yeah, I don't know how you go about doing the resources. I figure maybe if you guys each equally pooled 1 for 1 and you matched it, then maybe like I would double it on my own. It's like if everybody gave 10 points towards resources, you'd have what is 5 of you guys? That'd be 50 points right there alone. There's 4 of you guys. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, there's 5. Yeah, 5 of you guys. That'd be 50 points alone. Jeez. So
Still can't count.
I would like
I
to
would
have
double it
incredible
to,
resources.
And you're doing this thing where I can take a weakness.
Oh yeah.
Can I take?
yeah, the
can I do this
weaknesses
whole
or
bit?
limitations.
'Cause I like the idea of a stimuli that screws me up, and you know, I'm allergic to cats or something. I mean, it's
No,
cool.
not the cat.
Yeah, somebody let a cat out. I can't use my power. What's wrong with me? No, I do think it would be fun to have like a power weakness. That'd be fun. This is crazy. Okay. Like to say what's up to all our viewers out there currently watching
Yeah.
people read
Well,
about.
we're like
Yeah.
watching us read.
Zverev is
Let's say what's up.
the team is going to be a news anchor.
Man, this is hard.
It is hard.
Sports.
I'm glad somebody else feels that way.
It's like I don't want terrible stats, but I want a lot of powers too.
Now, in the if you guys aren't looking at it, you know, in the Ultimate Powers book, based on what you are, you get little, like it goes through like your physical form, primary abilities, secondary abilities, and things. So, like for normal human beings, you get your resources are increased by 1 column shift, as an example. Like if you're a cyborg, you have like a bonus to something and maybe a penalty to something else.
Do they do that with altered humans? Hang on, I gotta find that.
There are a couple of modified humans, organic, molecular.
That's what I'm saying. I gotta sit with
composites.
this.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm thinking we're probably all gonna come up with an idea, like pick our own abilities, and then like weave them into this. I don't know, this weird event that happened at this museum, or maybe change the name of it. Maybe it's some kind of
Could be the Ghostbusters Museum in New York. Could be the museum. That's the New York Public Library. It could be right outside the New York Public Library. No, I forget that there's like an entire character there's 3 different character creation systems in this book. There's the one in the yellow, or in the first set, and then there's the advanced set, and then you open up the beginning of Ultimate Powers, and you can there's it's not completely different, but it's the full meal deal. And this is the first time that I'm looking at this in a while. You got to go through this whole thing.
Now there's one
Here's an
power.
idea.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, sorry, I'm still on the resources thing. If you want to go 1 for 1 with the resources, you can, and that's an individual level. But for pooling, if you guys all wanted to add, because I gave you guys 3 extra talents and or contacts that you can use at your leisure. If all 5 of you were to give me 1 contact, you can have the same contact, which would be your benefactor, and you guys decide what that is. So, and that would be 10 points each, I'd say. So boom, that would be amazing 50 resources. And if you really wanted to get funky, really silly with it, and make the limitation on the contact that it's actually an evil group like Hydra or AIM or Rocks and Oil, and then I would +1 column shift. So you would actually have monster 75 resources. Think about it. Stark International has incredible 40 resources.
Oh.
So
Cool.
the term richer than God.
Are you going to do
My
anything?
character likes the sound of that. He's not used to having money.
You said
Are you gonna
you're
do-
playing a guy?
Are you gonna do anything with the origins, Bill, or just like all humans?
You guys can do whatever you want with the humans. I don't know exactly what it is that's triggering your guys' powers, but let's say if you have the mutant gene in you, maybe it just never got activated, but this triggers your mutant gene.
No, the reason I asked, like DBJ was saying, is like there's different things that go with your origin.
So if you're going to take a mutant, then after you're finished putting up all your powers, you can automatically add +1 column shift to your endurance. If you're an ultra human, then whatever you're finished with all of your powers, you can add +1 column shift to anything else. You know, your choice. That's the way that works. If you're going to be a robot, that's going to be interesting. But
who knew?
You know, I'm not here to judge.
Well, you know, maybe this event, maybe someone could have been like, you know, the unconscious alien getting ready to have, you know, autopsy put on them, or you know, if you're
an alien, that could be like Kree. You could have, or Inhuman, anything like that. You know, you didn't know, but you're actually a hybrid Atlantean. Whatever you want.
Yeah, I thought about that.
I don't care. I actually made a character one time. We were making a fairly silly campaign, and I said, yes, I was a regular human, and then I fell down my stairs one day to my basement. When I woke up, I was a robot with springy arms. So you guys can do whatever you want.
Inhumans who don't know they're Inhumans will always be fun. There's something always fun about that. All right, so
Inhuman last time. And no, you do not have your Black Bolt card.
Well, so all right. I guess one thing, like, you know, obviously you're probably going to want to take some things off the table here, right? Like, because you've got like Radini, you're a demon or an angel. Like, there's definitely some big differences.
that goes without saying, David. I mean, come on, you can't be.
Well, you said maybe just have some fun with it. Seriously, if you could think up a good reason why, what kind of an ass would I be if I said no? On top of that, Tony over here keeps on saying somebody should be an alligator. I'm just saying.
I was almost a man shark. I thought about being a man shark.
Man sharks are awesome.
My lady talked me out of it. She was like, "You're going to play Marvel superheroes, and you're going to play a were-shark." And I was like, "What?" She's like, "That's D&D." I'm like, "It's not so D&D, but I like my idea better."
She's not wrong.
Did you explain to her it was totally awesome?
Hey, Dave, I was actually thinking earlier with the Puck conversation that if you ever did D&Di's Puck, maybe he should be a warlock.
Yeah, because of the razor, yeah.
Yes, the patron. So, why not? You guys can do whatever you want with that here.
You know, there's some things in the Ultimate Powers book that are actually like counterproductive. For instance, or maybe it's just like too specific. Like in the regular book, light manipulation, you can darken an existing light, you can create illusions, you can hypnotize people, etc., etc. But then, like in the Ultimate Powers book, all of those things are powers. So it's like
exactly, which is
like
exactly why I told you can take one of those 4 powers that you want and just make all of the other ones power stunts.
Yeah, I guess that's the difference, is you have to make them power stunts, but still.
And I got
oh my god, my guy's a zombie.
Oh, hey, the Zombies were a pretty good band. They became the band Ardent. Hold your head up.
That's true. I love that the DM. I'm going to say it. I love that the DM has this really deep encyclopedic fact note. There you go, buddy. That's right, pal.
I have a lot of things.
Well done, buddy. That's the good one too.
Yes, it is.
Yes, sir.
It's plastic.
That's the anniversary one, isn't it? Like, really good.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking about getting Stan Lee to sign this, and I thought, nah, I'm gonna just get the regular photo with him and all that. But yes, this is my puppy right here.
You don't own a comic book store. You don't have anybody ride on your awesome shield. Come on now. What's going on? Oh man,
there's totally an animal. Someone could absolutely play.
I actually forgot to show you. This is what I wanted our space station to look like, Mr. Cyber's space station. I got this thing for $2 from a dollar store, and I forgot to actually show it to you guys. Man, I'm so disappointed in myself.
I just could not like ever since you first mentioned space station, I was picturing Kang's sort of Damocles station.
Nice.
All right, I think I'm good.
I'm trying to remember what was the competing newspaper with the Daily Bugle. What was the other paper? Didn't Ben Urich work for the other paper, or did he always
No,
work?
he worked for the Bugle. I think he did sometimes quit and go to the other place. I think even Robert Robertson did that once. Shoot,
There's a
was it the
competing
Blaze?
paper.
No, that's
The Globe? The Bulletin?
The Bulletin. That sounds right. We need to look this up. I'm gonna write this down. I gotta hit the books on this one because there was
Hey,
a
Five
hey
karma,
Megan,
whoever
if you
finds
want
it
to do
first.
like fire generation and be a fire blaster,
Yeah.
if you're a demon, you already start there.
Nah, my character's totally human. He's just a normal 19-year-old punk ass kid.
Guys, if you think
With
about it,
firemen.
you're talking about angels and demons. Isn't what do you call it? Nightcrawler, the fabulous Kurt the Wagner, is technically a demon.
I know.
And you guys, that's what I'm saying. Think about it. You can absolutely go that route and make
Well,
angels
yeah,
and
Pulse.
demons.
that's what I'm saying. You can start off and be a normal human, but then the accident happens and you get possessed by a demon that was trapped in an artifact in the museum.
It could be possessed by, or have you guys ever read the old White Wolf books before the Jihad apocalypse thing? They had Demon, The Awakening, I think it was called. It was only one book, but it was an amazing book, and they actually had it so that angels were released onto the earth, but they can only take over the body of someone who is just dying. So yeah, boom, an angel, that took over a human who just got shot in the face or just.
I might play a robot.
And you'll still have that person's memories. The robot could be interesting. I'm going to go back with the nanobites.
Well, no, that's actually what I was thinking. Like, he doesn't actually know he's a robot, is what I would do.
I have a bologna sandwich here that I didn't. And he's eating my bologna sandwich.
Had a player do that once in the middle of a World of Darkness game. He was like, I want to take the flaw Dark Secret, but it's going to be Dark Secret Robot.
That's awesome.
Doug, you and my characters, we need to be pals. We're talking about I'm over here looking at total control over sound ultimately. Like if I take vibration control, and sonic generation and control, like I can move it and shape it and do whatever. I could bring down the building we're in if I wanted to, stuff like that, like to have a lot of destructive potential. Like I said, like a diet black hole type situation where I'm not going to murder you by coughing, but like it could get really bad if I wanted it to. And I like that I could threaten people with that, and maybe they wouldn't believe me and stuff. So, yeah. And so just between controlling sound and light, like that's a really fun thing.
Pulse. Good job, Doug, finding the pulse.
The pulse, man. That's right. I knew it existed.
If you're doing something nowadays, you think about what do you call it? The Ultimate Universe. The very first character there by Brian Michael Bendis was Peter redid. They made a whole new universe just with Ultimate Spider-Man, and they were like, yeah, newspapers don't sell anymore. So how about instead he's the guy web editing thing. So everything's done on the net. You can do it like YouTube.
I think I should work. It would be fun to work for the Pulse. It would be fun to kind of go with that, and I could do a little research. It'd be fun to go with the Bugles competition, and it would be fun to be like, oh, because I'm living that right now. That'd be fun to be kind of like new media, and we're, this is not the most exciting material, to talk about. New media in 21st century in your Marvel superheroes game, but definitely like I could be, like I destroyed the newsroom, like I got mad, destroyed the newsroom, and so now you can't use the newsroom because I destroyed $500,000 worth of broadcasting equipment, and they won't let me back in the building right now, and so I have to broadcast from my phone and talk to my legions of fans from my phone and try to get back in the studio, and try to get back where I was. That could be a fun character thing, is that I committed this major professional, catastrophe and have to claw my way back by joining a superhero team. It'd be fun.
Guys, the chat done lost it.
With what? Boredom?
No, they lost it, dude. They're talking about zombies. attacking toasters.
Wasn't
Toasters
Simon
had it
Williams'
coming.
brother? Wasn't Simon Williams' brother a zombie?
They entertain themselves.
Yes, he was the Grim Reaper.
The great
Wasn't there an
Toaster
actual
War of
character named the zombie,
2017.
You're called the zombie also, yes. Oh, guys, also in the chat, Comic Book University, Simon Williams, Wonder Woman, explained in a minute. Just saying. Back to your regular scheduled
What was
program.
the guy named the zombie's name?
That's how Tab Williams has to do it.
He had a different name.
Cannon.
Remember who the zombie actually was, but he was much like the Golem. He was just a character who showed up a couple times and then he just disappeared.
Simon Garth.
His name was
Simon
the
Garth.
Zombie,
Thank
right?
you.
He was the zombie.
Yes. His name was the Zombie.
The zombie.
I
Yeah, we
think
started talking about
he
zombies.
had like
Sorry. Just makes my whole I'm broadcasting from my phone book sound incredibly dull when we start talking about were-sharks and zombies also. Maybe I was kidnapped by aliens and that's how I got
wants
my
his character to be based on sonic emission. Is there going to be any concussive power with that, or just sonics?
So that's what I need to really read here, because it's my understanding that sonic generation is essentially a force blast. If it's not, that's what I want. I want to be the Cyclops of the bunch. I thought about having like maybe I could have limited teleportation and maybe maybe a secondary power, but I didn't want to go like in full on Invisible Woman, like I'm a minor demigod type situation where I really work it. I just wanted to be like the big gun out.
There's a solid energy power, and you could totally just blast people with solid sonic.
We just do that. Here, I need to look at that. We just make it a
or you can do it like by the way, guys, Shocker explained in a minute, Comic Book University. I'm remembering all the characters I explained. But the Shocker actually has his what they allow is that he takes the regular, he pushes air forward and then has high energy sonics go on there, so it causes vibratory. You could literally just do vibrations and sonics and have that both in the same field. Or you could, let's say, +2 column shift your power, one or the other, and then you have to develop the other as a power stunt.
And you said we could have 3 talents and/or contacts?
Yes, 3 talents and or contacts. Or, Travis, you could actually make it so you spend 2 power slots to make it 1 power. It does concussive.
Yeah, probably gonna do that. David, what was the name of that one more time? Energy.
Well, I mean, there's
Solid
a bunch of different ways to get there, because there's energy. Because all right, so you have energy control powers.
Sonic generation looked like it would do it, and but I don't think it's like the big damage dealer that I'm looking for, or it's like I can Cyclops you down if I want to with my voice. So I'll look at energy.
Because I'm with that one, I'm going from memory, and I'm pretty sure there was like a power like that. But then you just have the basically whether you generate it or you actually use what's already there.
Oh right, yeah. No, I generate it. That's like I'm
So,
yeah, that's just
Meta
energy
Millions, what do
emission.
you have?
13. So
And fire?
I'm sorry, I lagged. Are you talking to me?
Mega Millions. Are you making fire?
Yes.
Only fire control and all that?
I want fire manipulation and fire generation, and I'm still stewing over other things, but I actually went off looking for a name just now. I think I'm rolling around Nathan.
Cool superhero name.
and I got to take radio wave generation because then I can broadcast on AM, FM signals and microwaves, which is kind of badass.
Pirate. You could pirate Nerdarchy.
I could.
There's enough of that going on.
Actually, Jen does something similar. I have a theme. Did anybody guess the movie that I referenced? Come on.
Yeah, that was kind of easy. Like I did. I don't know if anyone
Okay.
else did. I haven't been over there.
Roddy
Liv.
Piper, man.
Yeah. classic. Like the best fight
The
scene
return of
ever.
inspiration for Hunter the Gathering for World of Darkness.
Really? That makes a lot of sense.
I got a question about the limitations.
Good.
So, it gives these examples like maximum of incredible, blah, blah, blah. What is that assuming it starts at? Or is it just like, if you want to take this limitation, you can have it that power rank?
Yeah, it depends on, we can discuss that.
Oh, sorry,
Sometimes,
really...
like if you... Did you not hear
go ahead.
me? Or?
I didn't hear what you said before. I was probably reading or something.
Gotcha. You can ignore that for the most part, or use it. It's up to you. Like, let's say if you roll really low, for 4, with a fire generation power, but I'm going to take that. It only works on mutants, so it goes to incredible 40. It's like that's a big chunk. That's like, a 1,000% increase. Like, come on, So we could just say +1 conscious or +2 conscious, depending on what your limitation is going to be.
Well, let me ask you a question then. So, his main powers, I got light manipulation and coloration, and I wanted to have illusory duplication, but not have it be like I wanted to give it a limitation, but I don't want it to be amazing. Like, I like some of the limitations under amazing, but I don't want the power to be that powerful. You know what I'm saying? So can I just take that limitation, but I don't want it to be amazing. I don't want to imagine it being that powerful.
What is the limitation you're looking to?
Actually, was thinking either that it fails to operate half the time, or it's only limited to nighttime use.
So it doesn't work all the time, or only works at night? It could be like 50-50 that you can use it? Oh my god.
Well, because it's not like his main power, and I just thought it'd be cool to have, but it's like, because it's not his main power, it's like amazing. I don't want it to be that good.
Wow. We could say that it's an across the board for all of your powers that are based on light, +1 column shift.
Yeah, but then they all only work half the time. I don't know. I definitely don't like that.
Yeah, or you can never generate power stunts with it. Use that instead, or I don't know, however you want to do it.
Well, actually, it's such a long power. Like, what does power rank effect on that?
Well, which power are you talking about?
Illusory duplication. It's on page 34.
This would basically be like mirror image?
No, it's actually pretty cool. You can create a finite number of exact holographic duplicates of yourself, which you can then see through, and they can go off, and they can't do anything, but they can
Mirror Master.
Yeah, I guess they can move away, and they can be decoys and spies and things. But I don't think they can actually hit people or anything.
Yeah.
That makes me think of Mirror Master.
Solid funds and actually make it
hard
make them small. But yeah, I don't know if that's the power stunt that you want for it, and then just how many would you make? All that good stuff.
Oh, okay.
The weirdest power of all. Anatomical separation.
What is that? Oh, you can. There's a guy in the mystery man. What was that character's name? Make his hands.
But you can actually, maybe you can give your characters the when you have them, maybe they can be sentient on their own, think on their own, but they always follow you, or maybe they will have the same powers that you have, or maybe they are tactile, or maybe they can also fly. Things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Have them do, if you're going to take a limitation with it, have fun with your power. Absolutely.
All right.
Shiv's the stabbo. Your limitation is that you can't color within the lines.
The power rank determines how many you can create.
That's what I'm trying to figure out, because that's what I'm looking at now, self-duplication.
That sounds like quite a bit. It's like the maximum number you can create is equal to the power rank. So if you had amazing, you can make 50 duplicates.
Is that what it actually says?
Yeah, the maximum number of simultaneous duplicates you can create is equal to the power rank number. Okay, then I don't want it to be high at all. I was thinking like 2 or 3 of them, not 50.
Well, in that case, then just simply spend like 2 or 3 points on the
Yeah.
power.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that then. Cool.
So
That
when I'm
works perfectly, actually.
Will, when I'm spending my 100 points,
Character, I
do
think his
I?
name was Antibody. I can't remember exactly though, but he was from the New Universe, and he was from the comic book called DP7, Displaced Paranormals 7. I can speak, and he had the ability to make antimatter duplicates of himself, and then eventually he developed a power stunt to have one of those antimatter duplicates cover his body so that he could have the same powers that they had. So, just think, like, have fun with your power. Really think about crazy things to do. We're frighteningly silent. I want to be an old man, but I'm a vampire. Blah blah.
He's Morbius.
We did
Oh,
a
the living vampire.
Masterminds game like that, and there was like a character playing an older vampire, but the character was physically older, so we called him the Grandpire.
Wow. He's like an antediluvian.
So, like, when you reading the self duplication, there's like no rank. It's just like you duplicate yourself.
Yeah.
Maybe
Like
it's similar
have
to the
all-
illusion thing where the rank is how many you can make. I think I'm pretty good here.
Well, that's what I don't
So, like-
see. It doesn't really say like how many duplicates you can make. It just says you can keep making them. Like the duplicates can duplicate, but you can keep replicating yourself.
Right. Oh, you wanted the duplicates to duplicate?
No, I don't want that at all. I'm just saying, when you look at it, the hero can spontaneously generate exact copies of himself. The new bodies are usually semi-independent, each possessing an independent mind, all linked telepathically, so all duplicates are aware of each other's actions. But each one sets powers, but it doesn't say like at this rank you can make X amount of duplicates. It just says you make duplicates. The only time it gets weird is if you want to make duplicates that do something different than you do. Then the power rank actually matters. Like, I don't see the difference between an unearthly power rank and feeble.
Are you looking at duplication or self-duplication?
Self-duplication.
Okay.
See, sometimes.
Oh yeah, duplication's the ability to duplicate powers like the super adaptoid or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds kind of broken.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, so it's like you're kind of the dude that just kind of sits back and spits out other dudes that go do stuff.
Do you want to spend 10 of your points per person that you can make?
However you rule, you're the judge, my man.
I know, but whatever you want.
So yeah, I would like that. I would like that trade, like the infinite of making of guys, instead going, oh, for every 10 points you have, you can duplicate and you can do them all at once. That would be cool.
Okay, you could do that, and then just if they died, it's not that big of a deal because it's just a duplicate. Or you can make it that you would lose, let's say, 20 karma points, or let's say all of your karma points if one of them died, and then I could double the number of people that you could come out, or other kind of limitations.
Yeah, it actually says in there that you lose karma if you willingly make it do something that results in its death.
Oh, go figure.
Because I want to be able to do cool power stunts like multi attack and stuff.
Oh yeah.
By putting people in the pit.
Punch him in the jaw.
I'm gonna go to the chat with my question. Here, I'll type it in there. So.
Uh-oh.
Well, no, so I got two ideas. One was either that because he's technology based, but he's just to make it fun, that his powers fail to operate maybe like a quarter of the time, because half the time sounds like pretty often. Or Since they're light based, they only work at night. Was the chat thing. So a quarter of the time they might fail, or they only operate at night, or maybe they're like minus couples comm shifts at night or in the day.
Chat, we're listening.
I'll type it out in there too.
Do you have a mental rapport with the duplicates? That's actually a really good one.
Well, they're all me. You telepathically link to them. They're like, and the other thing, like you can actually die, but as long as you have a duplicate, like you just become the duplicate.
Oh, that's insane. That's awesome. That's really cool.
Yeah, it's really strong.
Nice.
That's why I generally like. I figure I want to do a bunch of like speedster power stunts, like use it through duplicating.
Yeah. Yes, that would be amazing. Like lightning reflexes or just lightning speed, I think it's called in there. Yes, that would be great.
So I'd want to do like fun stuff with that, I guess.
So like I'm in one of those moods where if I were playing, that's what I would do. I would take like lightning reflexes, lightning speed, whatever, multiple attacks. Like that would be what I would be doing right now. And the flash.
I'm seeing a lot of.
Just fought somebody like you.
100 points goes really fast though.
Yeah, it does.
Yes.
Yes, it does.
Well, that's where the
street level,
limitations
yes.
are handy.
All right, Dave, I was asking you, man, what's going on?
Is anyone, excuse me, is anyone going to play a character that's like very physical in hand-to-hand combat?
I was going that way, but not like super strong kind of way. More of going for numbers.
Okay. All right, then I've got a strange concept. I want to run it past the judge.
Take it to the judge.
All right. I'm going to, there's two strange abilities. One's called evolution. It's based off, because he brought the guy who could summon like the Neanderthal and the guy from the future. Well, I want a character who can change into, regress to a Neanderthal or advance to an intelligent life form, and combine that with age shifting as well. So he can he could become a big savage. He could become like a brainy person from the quote unquote the future, or advances to the future. And since he's going to be an older gentleman, he can regress down to like, age 30, where he can kind of like blend in with people, or go down to a child.
Awesome.
In
Time manipulation.
So statistically, here's what I'm thinking. Each form, he just has 3 abilities that are going to spike, right? So as the savage form, he'll get points in like fighting, strength, and endurance, but the mental stats go down. For the, I'm going to have to come up with a name for like the brainy form, because it doesn't really have too many details in there, except it says something like typical telepathy and flight or something. But his reason, intuition, and psyche go up, but his physical abilities go down. For the child version, intuition and psyche go up, but everything else goes down. So the fighting and the strength and endurance and stuff go down, but the other thing. And then I'm going to just attach like one ability to each one. So like as a kid, he's probably going to be smaller. So I'll probably like either attach like shrinking or some other quick ability or something for him to get in and out of things. For the savage one, it's going to be like some kind of, body armor or toughness or something. For the brainy one, it'll be maybe a mental ability or something. And not sure, something like that. I was thinking of something like that, like a shape changer, but kind of wanted to go kind of bizarre with it and just make him this.
You know what you're actually like? You're like the Hulk. You have an alter ego, but you have several alter egos.
Yeah, the
Egos,
concept
right?
sounds cool.
And he
as
kind of,
heck.
he kind of shifts.
That's what you're
Now,
like.
now there's
great.
there was a character in a book called in the Wild Cards universe, and he Decathlon was his name, and he could change into any human extreme, biological extreme that's ever been born. So he could go from like, you know, severe dwarfism to like over 7 feet tall, webbed fingers, his skin tone could like, so it was kind of a weird thing to think of, but it actually sounds kind of cool because depending on the environment he's in, he could get the physical attributes of human beings that live in that area. So people who live in high altitudes, he could grow his lungs big, you know. People who are better runners, he could have longer legs, or, you know, stockier bodies for wrestling and things like that. It's kind of a weird thing, but I'm gonna go with this one. I don't have a name though. I need a name.
Darwin.
No, he died.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, that version sucked. But this version could be cool.
This is the good Darwin.
You could really have some fun with this. Like if you look like an actual Neanderthal, like legit, your forehead is like really protruding. Maybe you've got a form of gigantism that you're 8 feet tall in that version, and not so bright. So it's harder for you to think, harder for you to come out of that situation. It's like you have the power to come back. You know, you got to be talked down, so to speak. Then plus, if your future version of yourself, you would actually look like an alien, you know, with the spindly arms, the giant eyes, and the big head, you know, just anything like that. Those would be great limitations where you could seriously bump your powers. Absolutely. That sounds great.
Yeah.
Maybe have a tea. You know,
I like
jump
that.
around here and there.
Yeah, turn into a kid, and as a kid, it's like, I don't want to go back.
Yeah. Once in a while, you'll actually have to take a nap. You need a snack once in a while.
So,
yeah, I think it's great.
I'm going to take energy dampening as a weakness, which essentially I've got to use my power once every however many hours or something, or else I get physically sick and could like get really sick and freak out, and I have to do it. I gotta scream at people and yell and use my abilities. So, like, what do you get for a weakness if I took it like once every, like I have to use it once every 24 hours, and it's what is it? Incapacitation. It's not fatal. It's damn it, what happened to it?
When you have a cow that you're trying to keep milked, if you miss a day milking it,
That's what I'm
you
saying.
have to keep milking it like for 3 days just to get it to start producing milk again. So maybe it'll be a similar situation if you don't use your power.
That is a really weird analogy.
I don't want to be milked, but I'll do it on the internet if I have to. If that's
I'll go
Oh my
based
God.
on our what do you call it? You
let's pick another
once
metaphor.
every 24 hours, you'll actually lose your powers for 3 days.
We do it that way, or I'm just like a sick, like the thing here is power negation. You're talking about power negation. I'm talking about incapacitation, and then the top of it is fatal.
Okay.
But I'm not sure if it works. I'm not sure if it works the way I'm thinking it works, where it's one or the other. It might be like I don't know if that's what you're saying, where it's like it's degrees. It's like you roll 1 through 50 as my powers get negated. 51 through 90 is I'm go incapacitated, and then 91 to 100 I die. So anyway, we just get to. I'm not sure how that works. I know I want energy dampening, and I know that I would like a bonus power out of it, which is I think it would be fun to take weakness detection at good, and just kind of have my outside power be that. That's what makes me such a good interviewer. That's what makes me so good in the clutch with a tough interview, is I can detect their, to a certain degree, to good. I can detect weaknesses. What do you think of that?
Detect weaknesses at good, because Megan had this power.
No. Sorry, Megan. I like. I'm gonna take something.
That was last game.
Like that.
Travis?
Sorry, what was the question?
That's what I was asking. What was the thing you said?
If Megan is already taking weakness detection.
No, she took it the last season.
Oh, last season she took it.
Cosmic
Oh, I missed
level.
that part.
Yeah.
Oh, well
She
then, yeah,
she
that's cool.
did a
How did it
cosmic
work
level.
for you?
So weakness detection at good 10. Isn't that just you can check like structural weaknesses and things?
Is it? I'm gonna have to bone up on it. It can't be like talking about their parents or something, right? It can't be like if I bring up his mother, it just
Do you want to do post
brings the
cognition?
supervillain.
You can do it like what was that? What was that Stephen King book?
Oh.
Dead Zone.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that could be fun,
Yeah.
right? Like I can see their fate.
Absolutely.
Something like that. Yeah.
Actually, just do it for the past, like just a form of post-cognition rather than precognition. So you can see something major from their past, something traumatic, something that's always there, regressed, and
You could be
your
like
mom committed
the
suicide when you were only 14 years old, and that bothered you a lot. Maybe that's the reason why you're so tight-lipped right now. It's like, what? How did you know?
could be like the trivial psychic on that old SNL skit with Christopher Walken, where he was like the dead zone, but he could only detect like trivial things. Like, you're gonna be getting out of the cab and you're gonna leave your coffee in there. Like, so he's like, don't you get it? You're wasting coffee.
I love that. Yeah,
The
You're
Bears.
gonna be eating pistachios, and one of them's gonna be very bitter.
So I want
So,
pistachios in a rich way right
I
now.
So,
I'm 100% doing that. That's happening.
since I'm getting rid of since I'm having to take a power rank for the self-duplication, will it still be a double power?
No. In fact, you could do the thing like I said, where you just 10 points and you got an extra one or something to that effect.
Well, yeah, that's exactly what I did. I went incredible, so there can be 5 of us.
Yeah. Sorry, you said pistachios. I got raw almonds, so
Son of a.
yeah. Oh,
You can, speaking of
fan.
milking, you can milk an almond.
Anything with nipples. Wait a second. Where are the nipples on this thing?
Oh my. I'm
So I think I now have 28 points left.
Really? I don't get compliments on the Meet the Fockers random joke? Really?
no,
I got nipples, Fokker. Can you milk
I
me?
regarded it.
We heard it and we throw it away.
So when you buy when you buy Facebook column shifts, you're spending the core. Like if I'm going from typical to good, I'm spending 10. Is that correct?
No, you'd be spending 4.
Oh, yeah.
Spend the difference.
Yeah.
Yes. You spend the difference. And that's in the face rip, yes.
Oh, that's right. And you said we're getting 2 for 1 on them. I have more points.
Yes, that's right.
Oh.
For the
Yeah.
powers,
I
it's the standard.
I think
59, so I have 41 left.
I do have. Oh, I gotta pick a contact.
Yeah.
Let's see. I need this is like a performer, right? There's performer skill.
Artist.
Nice.
Can I have a motorcycle?
Yeah.
You can have a Vespa.
I don't see why not.
Young toughs don't have Vespas. They're toughs.
Probably got like a ninja.
Nice. What to do?
Give you a nice Triumph.
All right.
Or a used Harley. You want to have a used Harley?
She's got an old rusty bike that she's been fixing up with her dad, or he.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice. Take
Was
repair,
that-
take her with that.
And only she can drive it for some reason.
Yeah. Or are you? Is your character a male, Megan?
Yeah, his name is Nathan.
Nathan the young tough.
Nate, I tried to steal your bike.
Fire guy.
Well, you don't know how to throw the switch.
Oh, Dave, there is a performer talent.
Yeah, I found it. So what do you do? Like certain powers, right, don't actually have a rank. They're just like your ability plus.
You just
How do you
do it,
handle
man.
those?
Like what?
Like extra attack. It's just like you're fighting. It's considered. Your fighting is 1 column shift higher.
That's one of the things that were kind of broken about the game, that it just didn't make any sense. There's supposed to be a substitute for your regular ability, in which case, why would you ever not multi-attack? You know, so I would say, like, if you want to take, like, let's say lightning reflect or lightning speed, then every column shift that you have in that, that would give you the ability to make an extra attack. You'd have to roll for it on standard. My head. So it would give you the benefit of doing of being able to run faster too.
All right, I'm good.
I don't think my dude does that though. I have to figure that part out. I want to simulate a lot of the lightning, like the lightning reflexes, speedster stuff. That makes sense.
Wait a second. You also have did you also say you want to do teleportation, but like close distance?
No. Like only if it's like moving from duplicate to duplicate or something like that.
Oh, that's
Shared transfer consciousness.
yeah, that's a
Why
good
not? Literally have every single one of your guys just boom, boom, boom. This way, just take the ability, transfer consciousness, but limitation only amongst your guys, only amongst your duplicates, and then each one of them can get a roll to hit, per round.
Well,
he'd have to call you Mr. Smith, though.
I think they already kind of do that. Like, I think that's the point. Like, you have a bunch of dudes, but North Star has an ability where instead of like rolling a bunch of attacks, he's got an ability where it's like, oh, he just hit you 1,000 times, so he just does more damage.
Yeah. Okay. If you want to do that, there's ways we could do that. How about if I did it so that the points that you use, instead of being 2 for 1 with your face rips, if it's just with punching but not with actual strength, then you can get it for a quarter to 1. But it's like very limited. It's like your strength is whatever / this when you're going to do your multi-attack punch.
Oh, okay. So like, I think there is an actual like enhanced ability.
Man, this guy is squishy.
Okay. I will absolutely do that.
But even then, North Star would be using that with super speed. And I mean, when you think about that, like, I know big guys are strong and blah, 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 and they can punch pretty well, but a person who's fast can punch harder than a person who's big. So maybe that's a lot of where his strength is coming from.
Yeah, it's just he has this ability. And he used it in the comic books too, like when he fought the Hulk. When they fought the Hulk.
Yeah. Exactly, because like you think about it, if like you were to punch the Hulk 1,000,000 times, you would do no damage.
Yeah,
your hands would be liquefied.
So here's something we could do. How about power points per attack that you want to do? So let's say I want to be able to attack 3 times a round, then give me 15 points. Boom, you got it.
Okay.
because it's once per round normally, right?
Yeah, it's
Yes.
once per round normally.
You can't double action if you sacrifice a move, right? You get one move
You-
and one action.
Unfortunately, not. No.
Yeah, you can make a fighting check. I believe it's a fighting check to make more than one attack.
Okay.
But there might be a penalty. I don't really remember. And that's like what extra
Fair.
attack does for you. It lets you make those checks without the penalty if you fail.
If somebody breathes in my direction, I will go down. I think I might have to rethink his stats here a little bit.
Sure.
My health is 14.
Yeah.
I just blew him apart with a sneeze. What a glass cannon.
Well, I was thinking it's like he's just a dude, so.
Yeah, but he's a dude that's been enriched by light energy. That's got to mean something, right?
No, he's tech-based, man.
Average human is 24 to 26 hit points.
I just went with the scientist. He's got poor fighting, typical agility, poor strength, and I actually spent some points. It would be even lower. I boosted his endurance to good.
Gotcha.
You know what? I'm gonna roll with it, man. He's just some scientist guy that's like, I'm gonna use my light technology for good.
All right. Another stupid question. What do we get 2-for-1 on? I know this is
The phase rip stuff.
the face
Yeah,
rip.
Thank you, Zerft. That's exactly what I was thinking. I forgot to say it before about Megan. She's a character who uses fire and rides on a motorcycle.
Another one.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like Ty was doing. He actually became Ghost Rider last season.
Excellent.
These things happen. These things happen.
That's all good.
I couldn't watch it. I haven't seen Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I can't take it.
So basically, Dave is going to be the druid of the party. I guess that Dave would kind of be the monk of the party. The wizard of the party is Megan. I'm wondering, kind of like multi-class. Dave would be
Controller, I
multi-class
guess?
wizard bard.
Sork. Sork.
monk
Definitely
bard.
Sork. Nathan is not a smart person.
Sorcerer. But yeah, Dave would probably be the multi-class bardic monk, which would be very interesting. Multi-class now. I don't know. How are you guys filling in these party slots?
Yeah,
I actually do have points to spare.
Yeah,
I have.
Doug would definitely be the wizard.
Ooh, I can't. I do have points to spare.
I guess I'm the
Hey, cool.
blaster, but I don't. I'm trying to get my hit points up so that I don't see myself as a tank, really. I'm not building a guy who can take a ton of punishment.
I'm probably used to going into fist fights.
All right.
Got this baseball bat for a reason. It's not for my
Oh
health.
man, you have to like ignite the baseball bat all back on.
Oh no, I was thinking like throwing up a fireball and just get straight up.
That
Oh,
would work because point of contact is so brief, it wouldn't actually singe the baseball bat.
What if it's
it's
a metal baseball
fire-treated
bat?
wood.
No, even it's like, think about aluminum foil. You put a pan in the oven, then it gets hot because there's a lot there to conduct. But aluminum foil is so thin that as soon as you open the oven, it'll pick up the aluminum foil right away because the point of
It's
contact is
science.
so minimal.
I'm just gonna have to get a lot of baseball bats then. This one's worn out, gotta get a new one.
You can be like Casey Jones. You can actually have just a whole bunch
Oh yes. No, my character is
Yeah.
basically like War and Peace and Casey Jones had a crack child.
Oh my god.
That's good. That's your pitch for the book. I'm sold. Too long.
So what are people doing for their
Yeah.
origins?
You mean like our backstory or like the actual like mutant or robot or whatever?
Yeah, like in
High technology.
Megan, pension is Zerf Gaming in the chat. He's got a name for you.
Oh no.
so
That's a good one.
so you
Oh, I
you're
actually like that.
so you're a high tech wonder. You're using gear.
Yeah.
So that gives you stuff that cranks your reason up a bunch.
It did.
Two
And his
columns just for your
resources.
reason. Well, as a high tech, you actually get in the regular player's handbook, you get +2 column shift to your reason.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay, you got that. Good.
So it's incredible.
Nice. That's Tony Stark smart.
Yeah, because I think the scientists started. Hey, I didn't have to spend any points at that. If I recall.
Yeah, I've got a lot of homework
smart.
to do.
So I think I'm gonna go with a random mutation because that's what happened.
Okay. Then +1 column shift to your endurance.
Oh, I could make him squishy and really, really smart.
It also says you gain an additional power.
Yes. Sorry, that's right. So, how can we do this? I guess give you an extra 20 points.
What?
It's okay.
Excuse for Dave.
I will work with that. So I have 20. So that means I have 47 points left.
Oh, all of these have to be spent before the first game.
That makes sense. Gonna be broke as a joke, though. What
So are you guys gonna?
normally start at?
I believe they would be randomly rolled.
Oh,
I think
What's randomly rolled?
resources.
resources. Do we really want to do resources, or do we want to just do what do you call it, like regular money in the game?
I spent points on resources, so if you don't want to do that, gonna have to.
Never mind,
I have
never
to.
mind. You
I wanna
guys
be
are not
rich,
gonna
damn
go
it.
with the corporate sponsor. Is that what I'm
I
hearing?
am the corporate sponsor.
There you go. There you go.
But do we want to come up with stuff too for the chat to spend karma on? Like, but like instead of just being like, oh, I want to add like 5 to a villain's attack, be like, oh, there's a pedestrian in harm's way now, and like give that a
You
cost.
could do that. Yes.
I dig that.
Like that's something we could think about during the week, or maybe post that somewheres.
What was that?
The way like Pete, like the chat can spend karma to influence things. Like, oh, they can change the scene. Like, you know, there's a pedestrian in trouble, or you know, maybe for, like a bunch of karma, and there's like, oh, there's a bus that's about to go over the bridge. Do you fight the villain or do you stop the bus? That kind of stuff.
Mr. 420 Spy, Doug would have to spend points for body armor in order to have a super suit. Otherwise, he would have a suit much like Blizzard or Force would have,
Yeah,
where it was just it's just skin tight or whatever,
Yep.
and it's got like electronics.
Got like
running through it.
LED lights all over it. I've pictured this guy for a long time ago. It's white, total white bodysuit, white hood, white face mask. It's got like LED lights that can flash all the time, and he can never decide on his name. So I made a spreadsheet of what he wants to call himself. So it could be White Bright White, Sprite Bright, Night
Light bright.
Yeah, there's 42
Oh,
different
right.
combinations. I
Night
can't-
light.
So whenever you show, you just can't decide, dude. Light white, light fright, white fright, bright fright,
We,
bright sprite,
White heat.
didn't we see that
They're all
character in
lined
the
with
Running
light.
Man?
Did you see
dynamo.
that character?
Kind of like that.
The
Night Knight.
So you could like hypnotize people with like crazy lights that change color and blind them and make illusory duplicates and things like that. So I went with the chat and made him squishier but very smart and rich.
Just don't hit me, not in the face will be his battle cry.
Yeah, if he gets hit, he's going down.
Resources.
Incredible.
Nice. That is an international corporation, dude.
hmm
It's not Wakanda level rich, but you
No.
know, we can't all
It's
be
enough to
T'Challa.
it's enough to secretly fund a cutting edge news program. Secretly.
Oh man.
Moon
Yeah.
Knight's resources were 20, if I remember correctly.
Oh really?
Professor X's
You mean
were
Stephen
30,
Grant?
and he had a freaking mansion. Numerous names.
Yeah, I know.
What
I
do you
know.
call it?
Me some Numenite.
And then, Iron Man would have been Incredible 40.
Mhm.
They would both be Incredible 40.
Yep, Stark International. Kingpin. Fantastic Four Inc.
Yeah, Kingpin also.
Yeah,
I
they're
love
all-
how they put TSR on the on the scale too with remarkable resources.
yeah, I think they misjudged that one a little bit.
That was the mid
I
'80s.
misjudged that. That's a little gaslighting there. But
Well, no, actually, what that is now you understand why they didn't quite do so well as a business. Because clearly they have no concept of how any of that works.
They're right up there with Williams Electronics, Angels Corporation, and Wasp.
Yes, her fashion company. So,
Oh yeah.
all right, so you could absolutely fund this. So you could tell me like what business or businesses you own. What do you produce? Do you produce anything? Is it a
Light
service
bulbs.
instead? Yeah. Back with General Electric again. Did you
No,
hire
no,
General Electric?
no. I mean, no. It's a successful light bulb. I mean, they use light bulbs. In fact, if you look at the prices that corporations pay for light bulbs, like Starbucks when I used to work there, you can make some serious money off light bulbs. But I mean, that also requires a lot of electromagnetic research, which he is a scientist, and that's what he does. And he secretly uses that electromagnetic technology to fight crime, along with the news anchor that broadcasts that he funds.
You
What are
probably
your
patented
talents?
a special kind of light bulb was probably more like it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's their bread and butter is light bulbs, but it's like they do, electromagnetic research and things like that.
Maybe you have finally developed and fully operate with solar power.
Because I took a limitation that it is -2 CS in bright light. Because I figured, like, well, if it's just shooting out light, it's probably not going to be as effective when it's light.
Your light is greater than mine.
I mean, like, blinding strobing lights in the daytime would just be like, it would just look like, it wouldn't be hypnotizing you. It'd just be like lights.
So what are your talents?
Electromagnetism, business, and engineering, and he has a contact in the business world.
So business, finance, electromagnetism for your scientist,
Mhm.
and
Engineering.
in the business world.
The contact, yeah.
Okay.
And then his powers
So you
are
got 4?
scientist had a science one, and then the 3 that you gave us.
Oh. Okay, good.
And then his powers, you got light manipulation of incredible, except it's excellent in bright light. Coloration, so you can change the color of things, excellent. And illusory duplication of typical.
What are you doing with coloration?
You can change the color of things, but you can also, but that in doing that, it actually. Let's see. It says, okay, this seems like the prime number 1 WIMP power of all time, but it can be very dangerous. You can alter the basic physical and chemical properties of any target when you change the color. So you're essentially altering the frequency and intensity of light in an object. So you can heat things up by changing it to infrared light. You can make things invisible or make them absorb or reflect all light or be translucent. So all sorts of things. It's actually a really long power. I was like, wow.
That actually sounds pretty cool. Okay, cool. That's in depth.
Yeah, it's like 2 pages long. Yep, and then he can make like light holographic duplicates of himself that can like go out and he can see through them.
Crazy in the chat. Okay.
So one of the things I did is I did take hyperspeed, but I'm not going to play it as a speedster, and it's like a really low rank.
Okay.
So
Anything above 0.4 means you're faster than normal.
Yeah. So
Plus, any other movement power that you eventually get, will be based off of that. Yeah.
Nah, I know how it moves, but I'm gonna impose the limitation that it's only to his reflexes, and like it's not really him moving faster. He just pops dupes in and out as need be to kind of like simulate he's doing a bunch of stuff at once.
Okay. So like I'm going to punch you in the face. So 3 duplicates show up and you got hit in the face 4 times. And then they disappear again?
So I would play with it that way and kind of like I'll probably look at speedster powers and time travel powers to kind of like come up with abilities that I'll mimic. But so good.
I was just gonna say, so what is the origin of your powers in the sense of is it matter manipulation and you're creating these duplicates? Are they illusory? Are they psychic and you're willing them? Are they from the future and the past, or what?
So I'll leave it up to you how it happens.
No, you don't want to do that. All right, so just get back to me on that. We'll say for now you don't know.
Okay.
Okay.
I figured like this museum event was going on, and there's something that people didn't like about it, and there was protesters. So I think his band was there, like playing the protest.
I like that. He's woke.
Yeah, he's woke.
Just go together like that.
All right, so
Yes,
who
so,
here can answer a quick question about the martial arts in the game? If I'm an amateur boxer or I've done a little light
so let's
boxing,
see.
is that B?
Yep, +1 to hit.
Dang, Bill. Encyclopedic knowledge.
That's a talent, martial arts. I want to be that
Either
guy
way, he would have went
just-
because I'm also.
All right, go ahead.
Go on. I was just gonna like jokingly brag, like either way he went because I'm also a 3rd-degree black belt in Togoku Ninjutsu. So
That's martial arts E, I believe.
martial arts E is +1 to your initiative to hit.
Gotcha. This is great. He's good. He's good. So, I want to be the kind of guy, who just got a hell of a right hook. Like I could take a guy out in a bar fight, right under
Like
a
that
Jesse
haymaker.
Custer level. Yeah, I could, I can't beat up everyone in the bar, but I could beat up the first 2 or 3 guys in the bar. It'd be all right for a minute. Not Daredevil.
Hey, Kyle S is in the chat. Nice.
Is that Kyle?
Kyle.
Oh wow.
Our Kyle.
Kyle.
Fuck Kyle. That Kyle.
Oh, that guy.
Then Kyle. What's up, Kyle? Long time no see, brother.
So I think we kind of have like the basics kind of hammered out. It's just a matter of some bookkeeping stuff, getting with Professor Bill. So we're gonna start next week. DBG will not be here next week, but after that you'll be back. So that works out fine.
So are we going to play next Monday? Because right now I don't feel like I know enough about your characters to actually do anything. But if you can all promise to send me those characters by tomorrow, literally, if you send it to me like on Wednesday, I won't get to it until like Saturday.
So well,
Tomorrow
we
it
can
is.
New comic books come out on
We
Wednesday.
can do the session 0 tonight, and in 2 weeks we figure we'll start them.
Cool. So next Monday we'll do like a part 2 session 0, like we did for the Open
That'd be
Legend game.
We could do that. We could absolutely. We could just
We'll have a
wrap.
much better idea what we're doing by then.
So absolutely. So with that, I want to
No
wrap
problem.
things up. I want to thank everyone for being here tonight. Thank everyone for watching. And this will be a regular thing. Mondays going forth, 8 o'clock Eastern time. Come hang out with us. And, we may not be saving the galaxy or the world, but you know what? Our neighborhood. We're gonna take care of our neighborhood, and we're going to take care of it real nice like. So
Yeah.
until next time, guys, stay nerdy.
Synergy.
Hey, nerdy.
Stay nerdy.
Excelsior.
Like,
Yeah. Like, why isn't he in Niflheim this week with us? He was last week.
Okay, well, what you're talking about now with the huge headquarters, that comes down to resources. So you got to go for the Black Panther or Iron Man or Batman type character who their main thing is, I'm rich.
or have a sponsor. I mean, Department H, right?
Okay.
You could absolutely do that if everybody wants to pull that together. Here's the way that I was thinking about doing for the powers. Depending on, if you're going to talk about like street level or something like that, I could, let's say, give you guys, we could say unearthly to play with. You roll up your stats randomly, place them where you want. So like, let's say you just roll, for stats, I've got an excellent, I've got a good, I've got a remarkable. I would really like to have better fighting than agility, so I'll put the remarkable up here. You know what I'm saying? But then for powers, I'll just say here's unearthly 100. And now you could say, okay, well, I would really like to have flight. So I'll take, let's say 3 levels of flight. So that brings that unearthly down to incredible because you're using 3 levels of that. And so like, let's just say 10 column shifts. And then you've got feeble, poor, typical level flight. Okay, what other power do you want? And then just like that. and then we could just agree or disagree on which like how many column shifts am I giving you guys? 10? You want 30? What do you want? That's what I was thinking. This way you can literally pick whatever powers you want. But we can also go with Dave's original suggestion of the very first power that you choose. Everybody rolls and puts it in the pool. So
I kind of dig that idea. It's like the gamer in me wants to pick them all, but I like that idea of that little bit of randomness with still a bit of control amongst the players. I think that's pretty cool.
That'd be fun.
I concur.
When I gained use a face rip, we used to use an array and just start at poor, poor, typical, good, and we used to use a 7-step array for our stats, and that kept us from having to constantly roll things, or one guy would have 3 unearthlies or something, because that made some things real quick as far as stats go.
Mr. 420 Spy over here, interesting name, he suggests just giving you guys points. So let's say like 100 points, and then you do whatever you want with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. So if you just wanted like one power and you're awesome with it, you could just put it all in.
Because that's kind of what I'm cooking up.
Absolutely.
Is like a Cyclops type guy. Is I want to be like the big blaster of the room, and so I'd probably double down on like I'm gonna do sonic force blast coming out of my mouth, I think, and
Banshee.
Yeah, except
Canary.
Except it wouldn't be a scream. It'd be like a diet black bolt.
Such a huge paragon, though. You've got like the Black Knight and Hawkeye, and mid-level characters like Iron Man and Captain America, and then like Thor and the Hulk in the same freaking team. So
yeah.
What about like Justice League, but like the D-listers? They were Justice League Unlimited. The D-listers were my favorite.
Like
episode.
Justice League International, is that what it was? JLI back in the day, like the
It
Keith
was-
Giffen
oh,
era.
Yeah.
you can go with that. You can go with the crappy team that fought against Doomsday and the death of Superman.
A lot of people in the chat are saying Cosmic. I see that a lot.
I would.
Dragonborn.
I wish we could do street level with occasional flashes of cosmic.
I like
the
that.
sound of that.
I would like to do. I've got a great street level thing that I would like to do that I feel good about.
Ooh,
And
what
it
about like
gives you room to do it?
what is it? Was it Starjammers?
That's like Cyclops' dad.
Yeah. Like
The
that's
Corsairs.
Yeah, that's kind of like a cool
Cor-
power level.
Corsair is his father's name. Okay, so here's the thing. I'm sorry. Let me clarify. When I say cosmic, I mean characters like Thor, characters like Beta Ray Thor.
No, I don't want to be like that.
The
powerful.
really super duper power. A setting is one thing. Like going into space is another thing. But when I say like power levels, there's street level powers. Like let's say the Spider-Man or even lower than Spider-Man would be
Moon Knight and stuff.
Yeah.
like the current Defenders on the like Moon Knight,
Yeah.
the current Defenders on Netflix. Like
I
those.
always like
There's
that.
the-
I always like that much better. It feels much more personal.
Yeah, as a comic reader, I like that kind of stuff.
One death is a tragedy, a million is a statistic.
Okay,
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think that works.
I don't want to speak for everybody, obviously, but yeah, I don't want to be like that powerful, like Thor level or anything. That's
I think like Captain America, Spider-Man.
yeah.
You know.
But what
Okay.
do Travis and DBJ think? What do you guys?
You go first.
I like that power level. Teen Titans is my
Oh,
max.
Teen Titans
although
Max, Go on.
I've always had a soft spot for the public super team, like Titans Tower or something, or Fantastic Four, where there's like an iconic super location. But if it's more Defenders level, you wouldn't really want anything like that. It'd be the abandoned warehouse kind of deal.
I like that idea of being like more public too, because last time we didn't really get into that either, so that'd be fun to explore.
Also, if we do that, that gives us the ability to move players in and out if we need to. Like, like the call goes out, who's available, right?
I dig that.
So if say for an evening, like someone's not available for that night, but if we wanted to, we could bring in a guest, or or it's not a big
Sometimes
deal
memory members.
because you don't have to explain it. Hey guys, Dave from Nerdarchy, for nerds by nerds, and welcome to season 2, episode 0 of Marvel Phase Rip, the superhero RPG, and we have some new cast members joining us, and this is not a continuation of season 1, but it is going to be a brand new game, and we don't even know what it's going to be yet. We're going to actually hash that out here tonight. Professor Bell is going to be our judge tonight. We've got Travis from WebDM in the house. We got staff writer Megan and novelist Megan. We also have staff editor Doug, and he also has his own website you guys can go check out. And we have DBJ. He's got a YouTube channel and is a prolific writer apparently now, and I completely missed it, over on the Ride Through RPG. Everybody has links in the description below, so if you want to check out the stuff they're doing when they're not rolling the percentile dice with us, you're absolutely welcome to it. And not only that, I would encourage it. So, session 0, Bill. You have an idea how we're going to run this? Like, I guess some of the things we should discuss is like what kind of heroes do we want to play? Like cosmic, street level.
Absolutely. Or something in between. You guys can start off powerless and become powerful. And guys, let's not forget, let me actually move this over so I can read the chat and you can see my sexy face. On my DM. What? Anyway, so you guys in the chat, don't forget, this is interactive, baby. So when you guys want to add something in, add it in. If you guys have an idea of what kind of character you want these guys to play, or what setting, or what power level, now mind you, the players don't have to take your advice, but they can take it under counsel. So by all means, make your voices heard. So in the meantime, what do you guys think about what you guys want to play?
So I would like to start with our powers opposed to finding them. We did that last season.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
For those of us who are already here, so
Actually, I gave you powers, but okay.
Well, yeah.
Now, how about okay, I know all of you guys know about the Ultimate Powers book, right? And you can come up with some really kooky, bizarre kind of things. So maybe we could kind of combine that with choices. So like maybe everyone rolls randomly, but then we kind of divide it amongst ourselves, like who gets to be something, so it doesn't come out too bizarre,
That's kind of neat, like a power pool.
So like, yeah, a power pool, like a round robin. So everybody rolls for a random power in a pool, and everybody chooses what they want.
And I've got some...
right. So so you can kind of adjust and kind of make a coherent character, but it still's kind of random. I don't know. That's an idea.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's a good idea.
I really hope we're going to
I'll let you guys know what my idea is afterwards.
What'd you say, Travis?
Like, just wreck everything with the power of my voice, kind of a thing.
Okay.
And
And
I guess I could hurt.
Marvel is big on limitations. I think that Marvel may have been the very first, it was definitely the first system I ever noticed that actually puts limitations on you. I had to really understand that when I was a kid, like before high school. Okay, I rolled 30 for this, but if you make it so that you have to have 2 hands unbound, then you can raise it a column shift to incredible. Or it only works on mutants, so now you can raise it up to amazing, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
You can actually
That's true. We didn't really get into that last season. That'd be cool too.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Because the sonic weakness was always one of my favorite things. It was always just like, oh right, he's weak to sonics. Haha, gotcha. You didn't think about the sonics, did you? Got the sonic gun there. Feel like a jerk. Yeah, and we were saying something earlier about like why it'd be fun to be street level and what our popularity and what our resources would be. So kind of my idea for my guy was that he would be like the lead anchor on the 6 o'clock news, who would be Tab Cannon, 6 o'clock news. And maybe I'm out covering a story on the way home and the chemical factory explodes. I got caught in the big chemical explosion. And then I got mad at the newsroom and I screamed, "Do it live," and blew up everything in the newsroom.
He's
then-
mad as hell, and he's not gonna take it anymore.
That's right. I'm not gonna. That's right. Exactly. and then I blew up all the gear and blew up the newsroom and.
By day, he uses his voice to proclaim the news. By night, he exacts justice with it.
Exactly. And then I thought, like, because then I could have resources, like the guy probably have some money, and I could be the
Yeah,
guy.
because journalism is a lucrative career.
Plus,
if you're on TV, it is.
I know. I'm just teasing.
Plus,
But,
if you check the talent section in the player's handbook, if you take the talent journalism, you also get 2 free contacts, which are expected to be like sources and things like that.
I had that in the last game.
And so I thought, like, I'd beat up the bad guy and then, whip out my phone and Instagram it, and be like, Tab Cannon here. It's not easy beating up bad guys.
So he'd be like public in that way too.
Yeah,
You
right.
sound like a dick
Famous.
so
and
much.
so what I'm trying to figure out is, does he have an alter ego and my superhero name is Broadcast? Oh man. Or is he just like famous, like running around like, hey, how's it going, Tab Cannon? It's like, and everybody knows it. So I thought maybe it'd be fun to do both. That he does have like a public alter ego, and like
Do it for the Vine.
Yeah.
Fine.
Okay,
They're in the same
I want to
room.
read this comic right now.
Yeah, I think it's fun. And then like I can gather up people, like if if we hear that something's going to go down, I like the idea of there being a team that gets, like what David was saying, is that you could pull people in and out and add people and that it'd be like a Defenders. I really want to do a New York game. I went to New York last month. It'd be fun to.
Travis,
really-
sorry.
You really want to use
Travis,
the
your
ultimate
mic
power
is
spell?
really low, so you're going to have to actually like fight to get a word in edgewise.
Yeah, well, I really want to use the Ultimate Powers book. I'm a huge fan. I've been boning up on it to get ready for this game. I've got a rough idea of what I want to do, and I've got like one key power that I think kind of makes my guy. But then I do think we should have a second, third, or some fourth might be crazy. I don't know how far you go, but I did a game once where we did up to 4, and it was bananas, and so I could pick like a random second or third could be really fun. So that could
Yeah, if you're a mutant, you can get 5 powers. Shoot, that's one of the benefits of being a mutant.
That's true.
Well,
That
that's,
being
being
right.
said,
altered
though,
human.
your powers could be like digging and water breathing. So
That's right.
So, well, there's a lot of ways we could roll for our origin and then go from there. We could pick one power and then roll. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, like Travis, I had a general idea what I'd kind of like to do, but I'm not set in stone. I'm not going to be upset if we do something different.
Does anybody have an idea of one particular power that they would like? Because this would, at the very least, tell us the setting. So, is it going to be street level, mid level, or cosmic level?
I want to do some fire crap. I just want to throw fireballs at people. That is what I want.
Okay,
I want something
so
really obvious and in your face like that.
you have a lifetime supply of enchiladas and red hots.
I would like some kind of light-based powers, like holograms and like dazzling lights was kind of the idea I had.
I heard a word in there that tells me what character concept you're going with. Dazzler, yes?
No, I don't want to absorb sonic energy. I want to
Well,
yeah.
it's one thing, but okay. So more like a no, not even what's her face, Jubilee. God, I hate her so much I can't remember her name. But
Like here, I'll give you my like if I got to pick everything, it'd be light control, light emission, illusory duplication, and coloration.
Oh, yeah.
sick, and most of that can be done through power stunts.
Yeah. Well, those are all actually powers, but yeah.
Yeah.
Coloration
Oh, well,
is
they are powers, but they can be done through power stunts.
Oh,
so if you
right.
don't get 4 powers, all you would
Right.
really need is light emission at the very least,
Right.
and then you could develop the control and develop everything else.
yeah, right.
Travis, DBJ, what do you guys have on your bucket list?
Okay, I'm going to put a pin in that for just a second, just simply to say that, mind you, I'm not going to be going crazy with karma in this particular season because it got out of control. You guys didn't know what to do with karma at that point, and it will make you guys go up in power rank a lot. So, hey, if we're going cosmic, you will absolutely have a lot of karma coming to you because you'll be fighting more powerful people, and you're going to need a lot of karma to do anything. But if you're going street level, we're talking about dishing out like, wow, I got, 50 karma this mission. Woo.
Yeah.
So
I kind of like
Just,
somewhere
okay.
street and like like lower
Like
level.
Avengers level threats. Where it's
Yeah.
just like, yeah, they take on big threats, but it's not like
Avengers
quarterback
are
quest every